There is a version of you that is doing everything right on paper. You show up to work, you pay your bills on time. You are not out here making crazy financial decisions. And yet, at the end of every month, building wealth still feels impossible. The money is going somewhere, you just cannot figure out exactly where. For a lot of people, a huge piece of that answer is sitting in the driveway. Not because owning a car is wrong, but because of how most people buy one, and more specifically, because of the one number that controls almost every car buying decision in America: the monthly payment. That is it. That is the whole game. And by the time this video is over, you are going to understand exactly why that number is one of the most expensive ways to think about money. Let me show you what I mean. Picture someone we will call Jordan, 26 years old, just got a promotion. New salary is coming in. Feels good. Feels like progress. And Jordan decides it is time to upgrade the car. Because why not? He worked hard. He earned it. He walks into the dealership, not thinking about the total price of the car. He is thinking about one thing. What can I afford monthly? The salesperson asks the same question almost immediately. What kind of monthly payment are you comfortable with? Jordan says, somewhere around $600. And just like that, the entire conversation is now about keeping that number in range, not about the total cost of the vehicle, not about the interest rate, not about how long the loan runs, just about that monthly number. The salesperson finds him something. $43,000 car, 6-year loan, nice monthly payment, $612. Jordan feels good. Drives off the lot. And on paper, it looks fine, until you actually do the math. That $612 payment runs for 72 months. That is already $44,064 before a single dollar of interest. But with the interest on the loan, Jordan ends up paying closer to $51,000 for a car that was listed at $43,000. And that is just the loan. Now add insurance. A newer $43,000 vehicle is going to run him somewhere between $150 and $200 a month minimum, depending on his age, record, and location. Call it $175. Add gas. Depending on how much he drives, call it $150 a month. Add maintenance and repairs over 6 years. Oil changes, tires, brakes, unexpected things. Averaged out, that is probably another $75 to $100 a month. Add registration and taxes annually. What Jordan thought was a $600 car situation is actually closer to $1,100 a month in total car-related spending, every single month, for 6 years. That is over $78,000 over the life of the loan when you add everything up. For a car that, by the time the loan is paid off, will probably be worth somewhere around $12,000 to $15,000. That is the trap. And most people never see it because they were only ever looking at one number. Now here is the part that makes this even more dangerous. Jordan is not stupid. Jordan is not irresponsible. Jordan fell into this because the system is specifically designed to make the monthly payment feel like the whole story. Walk into any dealership in the country and watch how the conversation goes. They do not lead with total price. They do not lead with interest rate. They lead with monthly payment. Because once you are anchored to a monthly number, everything else becomes negotiable in ways that almost always benefit the dealership and hurt you. They can stretch the loan from 4 years to 6 years, and your payment drops. Feels safer. But you just added 2 more years of payments and thousands more in interest. They can roll fees into the loan, and your monthly number barely moves, but your total cost just went up. They can sell you on a more expensive car because the monthly difference between the $43,000 car and the $48,000 car is only $60 a month. Feels like nothing. But over 6 years, that $60 is $4,320 plus interest. The monthly payment framing is not accidental. It is a sales tool. And it works because it makes expensive decisions feel manageable by shrinking the number you are comparing. A $43,000 car sounds like a lot of money. $612 a month sounds like a cell phone bill. Same car, completely different emotional reaction. And that psychological gap is exactly where the trap lives. But here is what almost nobody talks about. The biggest cost of Jordan's car payment is not even the $78,000 he is going to spend. It is what that money could have become. Let us say Jordan had bought a $15,000 used car instead. Reliable, nothing flashy, gets him where he needs to go. His total monthly car cost in that scenario is probably around $500, including insurance, gas, and maintenance. That means, compared to his current situation, he has roughly $600 a month freed up. $600 a month invested consistently into a broad market index fund at an average 8% annual return over 10 years becomes approximately $110,000. $110,000. Not from a raise, not from a side hustle, just from the decision of how much car to buy. That is what the monthly payment framing steals from you. It does not just cost you money now. It costs you what that money could have compounded into later. And that is a number most people never see because they were never shown it. This is what makes the car payment trap a wealth trap. It does not hurt you all at once. It does not feel like a disaster. It just quietly bleeds your ability to build financial momentum month after month for years. And it gets worse, because this trap does not only hit people who are struggling financially, it hits people at almost every income level, just with different numbers. Someone making $40,000 a year gets trapped by a $400 payment they cannot really afford. Someone making $90,000 a year gets trapped by an $800 payment they think their income can handle. Someone making $150,000 a year drives a $1,200 a month lease because it feels proportional to what they earn. The numbers change, the pattern stays identical. Too much income going into a depreciating asset, too little left to build actual wealth, and a creeping feeling at the end of every month that despite making good money, the progress still does not feel real. That feeling has a source, and for a lot of people, it is parked outside. Now, here is something important I want to say. This is not about telling you to drive a beater forever. This is not about cars being bad. Cars are useful. Cars matter. For a lot of people, a reliable vehicle is genuinely necessary. This is about the psychology that makes people consistently buy more car than they need. Because it is not just logic driving these decisions, it is emotion. Cars carry weight that most purchases do not. They are status. They signal success. They say something about who you are and how far you have come. They are reward. They are comfort. They are identity. And when a purchase carries that much emotional meaning, it becomes very easy to financially justify almost any number. People say things like, "I deserve it. I work hard. I need something reliable. It is only a little more per month. I will make more next year. It is not that bad." And the dangerous part is that all of those things feel true in the moment. The dealership is not forcing anyone to sign, but the environment, the framing, the emotional pull, all of it is designed to make the number feel smaller and the decision feel easier than it actually is. So what do you do instead? First, change the question you are asking before you ever walk into a dealership. Stop asking, "What can I afford monthly?" Start asking, "What is this car going to cost me in total?" Add up the full purchase price, the total interest over the loan, the estimated insurance for the vehicle, gas, maintenance, and registration over the length of the loan. That is the real number. That is what you are actually committing to. Most people have never done this math. Do it before you decide anything. Second, think about the car in terms of what it is replacing. Every dollar going into a car payment is a dollar that is not going into savings, investments, emergency fund, or debt payoff. That is not a guilt trip. That is just a trade. And like any trade, it should be made consciously, with full awareness of what you are giving up. If you are putting $600 a month into a car and you have no emergency fund and no investments, that car is not just transportation. It is the reason your financial foundation does not exist yet. Third, buy less car than you think you can afford. Not less than the bank approves. The bank will approve way more than you should spend. Not less than the dealership suggests. They want you to spend as much as possible. Less than your ego wants. That gap between what you want and what makes financial sense is exactly where the breathing room comes from. A general rule that has held up well is keeping your total monthly car costs, payment plus insurance plus gas plus maintenance, under 15% of your take-home pay. Not your gross salary, your actual take-home. That number tends to leave enough room to actually save and invest at the same time. Because that is the real goal. Not to never buy a nice car, but to buy the car in a way that does not quietly block every other financial priority you have. A car should move your life forward, not just physically, financially too. The car payment trap is dangerous because it does not announce itself. It just feels normal. Everybody has a car payment. Everybody talks in monthly numbers. It becomes so common that questioning it feels unusual. But normal and smart are not the same thing. The people who build real wealth over time are usually not the ones who make dramatically more money. They are the ones who make slightly better decisions consistently over a long period of time. And one of the most consistent decisions they make is refusing to let a car payment determine the ceiling on everything else they are trying to build. So before you focus on the monthly number, ask the better question. What is this car going to cost me in total? And what is it going to stop me from building? Because that answer will always matter more than whatever number the salesperson puts in front of you.